My name's Stephanie. I'm a compulsive eater. I weigh and measure 3 meals a day from the gray sheet. I write those meals down and commit them to my sponsor. I don't eat in between no matter what. Absence is the most important thing without exception. My absence date is April 12th, 2001. For that, I'm truly grateful. And I'm just so glad to see all of y'all here. So I wanted to talk today about, you'll hear my story throughout this, so that'll be plenty. Relapse prevention and chronic relapsing, because I think I learned about this program in 1988 or 89, and I struggled for another 12 years to get abstinent this time around. So if anybody's out there wondering, thinking they're a failure or they can't do this or they're ashamed, that's total BS that our disease tells us. And you're welcome here. You've already earned your seat. And there's no shame in coming back or counting days or any of that, because that's the nature of our disease and we're here to support each other. And for me, the biggest thing with relapse prevention is, we got these old gray sheet tapes, and some of the topics from the roundup were like cultivate gratitude. And that's what I need to do, is cultivate gratitude, because my disease tells me I don't have a disease. And, my MO was like getting maybe 30 days, losing weight very quickly, and then going back out there and trying to eat again. And it's that real trick about thinking I could be a normal eater again. And that's my disease telling me that. So I really need to cultivate gratitude and continue to admit utter and complete defeat that I'm a compulsive eater. And when the disease is in remission, I look like a normal eater. And some normies might even say, oh, you have such integrity. You're so disciplined. And that's just, that's the desperation and willingness to continue to do this. And the miracle is when we, practice step 0 and put down the food. I really think there are just a few moments in time where we have that congruity of having enough desperation and willingness and hope to try again. So if you don't have hope or faith in yourself, I want to extend to you that I have faith that we can do this, that you have the ability to do this. And it just requires that intersection of those things when we're just desperate and sick of it enough to try again. And I tried again on the day after my 31st birthday. I was just sick and tired. I had type 2 diabetes and irritable bowel syndrome. I'd been bulimic for about 15, 16 years. And, I was getting too old to do that. I'd been in a mental hospital, group therapy, private therapy. I'd already been to a lot of other meetings. I had 12 years clean and was not feeling, what the big book talks about being rocketed into the 4th dimension, because I was trying to work the steps every once in a while, but I was still drunk on food. And I really needed to get that reprieve that we get. I really believe that my body is a distillery. And when I eat the foods that I'm allergic to, that are not listed on the gray sheet, my body's able to, turn them into a substance like alcohol that I, get drunk and get high off of. And when I'm doing that, it's really hard for me to work on my real problems and work the steps and get that recovery from that. So, being exposed to the steps, I tried, but I just can't think my way or rationalize my way into abstinence. I've just got to try to put that food on the scale again. And, many times I throw away a scale and have to go buy another one. And it's just, it's just what we have to do. And there's no shame in that. So I finally tried again. And my husband and I'd been trying for months at that point. And I had, I married a self-admitted compulsive eater. He was a chef at a restaurant. He wooed me with, his wonderful food. And we had our nightstands with our junk food on it. But I was still lying and scheming and hiding. I would buy 6, come home with 2 and say, oh, here's one for you and one for me. And I'd already eaten the rest in the car. I'd lie about where I went to work at lunch thinking, oh, I spent too much money, but let's go back there for dinner, just stupid stuff. It's just the shame of, getting and using and finding ways and means to get more, and trying to have values and be a decent person is hard when I'm hating people that are in a normal sized body, jealous of women, not able to have relationships with people that were healthy because I was miserable. And so I finally, to me, putting the food on the scale is sacred. It's a prayer. It's a, letting go of my will and using the scale as a higher power that can tell me what 4.0 is. Calling my food into a sponsor. I still call my sponsor every day before I eat my food. I surrendered that and my body weight to her to deal with. My weight fluctuates maybe 5 pounds every once in a while. And that's just a miracle. I'm shocked. If I hold up the pants, I'm shocked that they fit because I've lost 75 pounds and it's hard to reconcile that. And I know, at this age, if I go back out there, I'll be dead. My family's had limbs amputated. They're on lots of medication, but, they too would say, oh, you weren't that fat. You're fine. Have this, and so it's really important to me. For me, relapse prevention is like in the 12 and 12, it says, remember when you said you would go to any lengths for victory over alcohol? And that's what I need to remember with the food, that when I was sick and desperate enough, I said, I will, please God, I will stand on my head. I'll do whatever you tell me. I was praying it would be like 3 pills a day, like an astronaut or something, but it's even better than that. I get to eat real, luscious, colorful, healthy food. And it's a lot, it's really good food. And I'm just so grateful for that I can buy normal food at a grocery store. I don't have to pay a diet place. My parents thought about sending me to a fat farm. They sent me to summer camp to lose weight. They hired babysitters to exercise with me. I was an only child. They were teenagers that ended up, somehow staying married for a while and making decent money. But I ate all their food, and it was, I was rude. My mother thought I was rude. It was embarrassing. Friends said, you chew with your mouth open. You might not want to do that. I mean, I ate, it got to where, I was, living like an animal and not doing dishes, letting flies stay in the sink, just really dysfunctional and desperate. And, you know how it is, trying to throw food away and then trying to get it back again. I had a pet rat and I'd put food in with the rat to, because it would stink, and I'd still get it out and eat it. It was just disgusting. So even if you haven't been to those lengths, it's yet. There are a lot of things, a lot of people in here that have gone to lengths of desperation. I haven't yet, but the disease is doing push-ups in the parking lot, and I need my recovery to be flexing its muscle just as much. So I really want to attend meetings regularly, stay in the middle of the herd, listen to a lot of speakers and roundup tapes, try to go to retreats and roundups, get with other GreySheeters. My disease wants to tell me that y'all are weird, that I don't like you, that you want to control me, that you're judging me. And that's just not true. I had a real resistance to authority. When I got here, there were a lot of, and women that are here in this meeting today were here, 25, 30 years ago when I was trying. And I was like, oh gosh, these teachers, are out to get me. They want to control me. They want to, tell me what to do. And so I wanted to do this on my own, and I don't. I tried, how all kinds of things, intuitive eating, or it's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. Can I get, well enough and get my life together enough to lose weight? And really not when I'm in the grips of a physical addiction, but once I put the food on the scale long enough and do that, the compulsion is lifted, and then I can really work on the obsession and work the steps to deal with my living problems and the spiritual malady. And I didn't want to be spiritual. I want to be self-reliant, independent, a survivor, strong-willed. And, I bragged about being large and in charge. And that's not it today. I can't, I was killing myself. And today I'd much rather practice humility and stay dumb with the food. Even if I think I know everything about nutrition, that doesn't matter. The foods that I can eat are listed on the gray sheet, and I can, let my sponsor deal with, how to relieve that obsession. And it's just really important to me to stay in the solution. And a lot of my problems too was if someone said, oh, try this, and I would be in a lot of self-pity. So I'd be like, oh, I can't have that right now. And, I would invite them to coax my disease into talking me to eating. And it's just not like that today. I really need to try to practice no thank you and set boundaries and not think Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Not think of it like a burden, or because really friends and family at that point are like, oh gosh, she's really suffering on that new diet. We need to get her over this quick. Let's get back to the homeostasis. Let's get back to where we're all comfortable. But really that initial abstinence, I'm going to be uncomfortable and people around me might be uncomfortable. And I need to let that go and practice to where this becomes the new normal, where it's incredible that people would say you have integrity. That is just difficult to admit that this program gives me integrity and dignity. And so when I can start saying no, thank you, and mean it, and not have any hesitation or pity around that, they accept that and they quit offering, they quit pushing. So if people are making fun of your food or trying to push food on you, that's normal in the beginning. And I have to get over that. And, I'll tell them, I'm sorry, I don't bring food. I don't, if their kids need donations for things, I don't buy food. If they're selling candles or posters or something else, I can do service in another way. But I don't want to romance the food. I don't want to practice that euphoric recall. I like when someone in recovery told me that, those foods might look good or smell good, and it's like a candle. To me, it's poison. I'm not going to eat a candle, and I don't want to eat poison. And, it's just a miracle to be here with y'all. The woman that brought me back to Gray Sheet is on this meeting, and I can't thank her enough. I saw her at a cafeteria at a state office, and I saw this Gray Sheet glow. And I said, are you still doing that? And she said, yes. And I was like, I've got to get back there. My disease would try anything to make me forget about Gray Sheet. But my NA sponsor said, why don't you try that thing that worked? You said that one thing that worked for you, because we were doing a 6-step and I kept talking about gluttony. And she's like, I can't help you with this. This is a first step issue. That program specializes in that. Why don't you go back and try that? And it was a miracle. She did something else, to lose 5 pounds here and there. She didn't know anything about it. She couldn't understand. Y'all understand me. And you can support my abstinence and help me get through life on life's terms when we're in the hospital, when we get job promotions, when we lose jobs, when we're grieving, when we get married, when we get divorced. Y'all know how to deal with those situations when we're aging in recovery and our metabolism slows down, when we get injured trying to exercise for our health. Y'all know how to deal with that and stay abstinent through it. And that's why counting days is important. When we have those first milestones, that first time I got through that holiday, the first time I got through the summer bikini season, or whatever it is that, our mind tells us we can't stay abstinent through, that first cruise. Or I remember for me, it was the first baby shower for some reason. Should I eat before, after? Should I take my food? A sponsor can help me with that, to decide what. I had options I didn't even know I had, especially when visiting family. She said, keep your car keys handy. You might need to leave early. And I did. And that's what we have to do to stay abstinent. And I just love you guys. And I appreciate y'all have kept me abstinent. And I look forward to hearing y'all share today. Thank you.